Innovative.
Innovative comedy. Or more like Ole. Jose Ole. You ever Jose Ole? Those little yellow pack burritos?
Yeah, I still be eating
Those
them.
shits is fire.
Yeah.
The chicken ones and the chimichangas, all of them.
Chimichangas for
all
sure.
of them. The chicken burrito, the chimichanga, beef and chicken. Yeah, Jose Ole know what he doing.
Check this out. I'm cool ass Cam, the coolest motherfucker on the planet. And today I'm here with the homies and we want to talk some shit live.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah. With that being said, make sure you tap in with our website, www.theinnovativeculture.com. Follow us on Instagram at innovative.culture and innovative.comedy. And subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/innovativeculture. Who I got in the building with me today?
What's good? It's Tony Grams. Follow me on IG at Tony Grams, TONY_GRAMS. We in here is Innovative Comedy Monday. Got the homies in here, shit chilling. So who else in here?
Luis Noriega, the Drunken Sailor,
That's right.
Boyle Heights. Follow me on Instagram or basically, yeah, 'cause I stopped using all the other platforms, man, like Facebook.
I just made a Twitter like about 3 weeks ago, and that was just to look at porn.
Yeah, same here. I ain't gonna lie, yeah.
Nah, it's like
Only
you gotta say
girls, they give it away for free on
Yeah.
Twitter.
X, formerly known as Twitter.
man,
you know, to me, like that's the Prince thing all over again.
But like old people, we don't call new shit the new shit.
Yeah.
The Fox Hills Mall is still the Westfield Mall is still the Fox Hills Mall.
Right now,
Yeah.
in Boyle Heights, it's Cesar Chavez Avenue, but they still call it Brooklyn. Like it's Brooklyn
Exactly.
Avenue. It's La
They changed
Brooklyn.
that?
Well, it's been
'Cause
Cesar
isn't
Chavez for a long
Brooklyn-
time. Yeah, it used to be Brooklyn Avenue.
That's crazy.
But it's Cesar Chavez. It's been Cesar Chavez for a long time, but
Yeah.
all the old heads are like
Like,
La Brooklyn.
still.
We're going to La Brooklyn.
It's like even the same thing in LA, like in South Central. It was rodeo because we had rodeo and then there's rodeo.
Yeah.
And then but rodeo is always rodeo and now it's Obama.
Oh, is it?
They changed it to Obama like about 5 years ago.
Damn.
So like so people be like, oh, I'm on Obama, and it's like you got to kind of be, oh, you on rodeo.
Even
nigga.
friggin' Staples Center. I still call it Staples Center.
I still call it Staples
Yeah.
Center. I don't call it.
But what
shit
is it called? Crypto now?
Crypto
Yeah.
scam.
Nah, that's just a new
Crypto-
owner.
Crypto scam
who's
arena.
putting more money into this place
That's all.
now? That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Crypto scam arena. That's it. So
too
that
late.
shit was all a scam.
But see,
I just call it the place where the Lakers play.
I call it the house that Kobe built.
But see, the jacked thing is, this is why a lot of people get mad with the whole pronoun shit. Like old people, we don't want to learn new shit, man.
At
so they
all.
get mad. Like
I'm not
especially
resetting myself.
right, especially with old Hispanic people, they're like, I just barely learned how to speak English. Now you want me to fucking learn something else? Fuck that. And that's why I trip out on people. It's not that I'm late or a bad person. It's that I'm too fucking lazy, man.
Hey, like I'm not resetting.
Yeah.
You trying to get me to reset it like my life? That ain't how. Like I don't know. We move a little different. It's like it's being programmed. You've been programmed, and that's like normal shit when you get to
You over there sending your live to people?
yeah, you know, he's trying to like you don't promote.
Hey, y'all, I'm on live. Watch my shit.
Come on, buy my tape.
Call me her.
Buy
him.
my tape, man. Buy my tape. Like 50 on best friend. How best friend? Cause you was my best friend.
Did you ever do that? Did you ever go out with like the CD player?
Nah, 'cause,
if you try to get people on the street to listen to your music?
I did it when me and the homies first started rapping, and we would jump on the Santa Monica bus and from like
You had like the blanks, the ones already pressed up
and
to
we
where
would
you
just
could
go to
get.
Venice and Santa Monica, and we would just hand them out. And then like I'd be like,
You was probably one of them niggas that had me trying to listen to their shit at Venice Beach.
I wouldn't even be like, listen to it now.
Hey, check this out. Check this out.
Yeah, I was there because I'd be like, I'd just tell people if you don't want it, you don't have to take it. But
Some of them
if you
people
ain't
was
gonna
real
listen to
pushy
it-
though, man. Some of them
and that's
guys-
why it was like I never wanted to do that because it was like oversaturated. But there would be times where I'd give CDs out and it'd be on the bus. And a dude would like come to get like walk to the back of the bus like, hey, this you? Hey, yeah, this shit number 5 is hot. Like that shit, I'd be like, thanks. Like I could tell he listened to it. So, but I wouldn't be like, listen to it, nigga.
The motherfuckers that are the pushes, though, are the fools at the mall that sell that shoe cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Those motherfuckers make you feel
But then,
bad.
do you know the catch? They fucking clean one shoe,
Yeah,
and then they
they
try to
make-
get you to buy the shit, so
But-
they clean the other shoe.
but not just
Now you
that.
gotta be walking around with one dirty ass shoe in the mall.
They'll say some
One
mean
gray
shit.
shoe.
Like I was walking at the Montebello Mall one time, and this guys are like, "Hey man, let me talk to you. I'm like, "Nah, I'm in a hurry. All right. When your lady leaves you for having dirty shoes, don't come talk." I was like, "What the fuck?" It made me laugh though. I was like, damn, this motherfucker.
When your fucking kids hate you,
Yeah.
because the souls of your fucking, you're like, how did we get to this therapy?
my God.
He touched the nerve with that one.
That's
He not a big.
hilarious.
I was
When
like,
your
holy
fucking
shit.
lady leaves you.
And he made me turn around. I was like, wait, what? Like, for real? It's like that? Like,
like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah.
yeah, got you, got him.
When your lady fucking files for separation, moves back with her, but he gets like real specific.
I was like, golly.
That's fucking hilarious.
But it's interesting. I always like that, like fools that know how to sell stuff on the streets.
Yeah.
Like I always find that those fuckers are like they do know psychology though.
You gotta hustle it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like a backhanded compliment or an insult. Like they're like, hey, come back here. I'm trying to sell you this stuff.
No, it's like the whole baby boy scene, you know, where Jody was like, you know, you got the buyers and sellers, and you know, he went out trying to sell the dresses and shit. And at first his approach wasn't good. Yeah, Omar Gooding's approach wasn't good at all. He was out there tripping.
His boy was an idiot.
Buy this shit.
Yeah,
it was yelling. Yeah.
His boy was a complete idiot. Just, this isn't for you, man. Like everybody can't hustle and sell shit.
It's a skill.
But Jody had, you know, this is all-purpose dress.
Yeah.
This is all purpose. You can wear this anywhere.
Yeah, you'll see how it go with your body. That's an earth tone.
You can wear this to work and go straight to happy hour.
$40. $40. That was like the funniest part.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna squeeze my ass if it is. Like, no, you're not, sir.
No, you're not, sir.
No, you're not, sir. I mean, he called me sir. Ma'am. I'm sorry, sir. I mean, ma'am. Stop calling me. He called me sir. He's gonna flip out. I don't know why that just made me think of that flip outing scene. Just made my mind think of the Joker, like the Joker movie. Like, I don't know, but have you seen?
And the new one,
I just seen. Yeah, it's like shit.
Everybody's saying
I like how he said it though. He said the musical.
Well, because it is a musical, right?
That's
musical.
exactly what
I
it
haven't
is.
seen
And a
it,
lot of people are having mixed reviews
And
about
I've
it.
always hated musicals since I've been a child.
Really?
I've never liked musicals. Like, saying something is a musical is the easiest way for me never to watch it.
Well, they said it was a
I will
musical when it
never.
came out.
I love horror and I like Johnny Depp, and I still never watched Sweeney Todd. I've put it on once, and I just because I like Johnny Depp, like, and I had to like make myself, and I kind of burned it out of my. I don't even remember that shit because I just remember people get like Borat getting his throat cut, like wiggling everywhere, like
Wizard of Oz. You never liked the Wizard of Oz?
I fucking hate the Wiz.
That shit was cool,
I hate the
man.
Wiz more than anything. Michael Jackson's the fucking Wiz.
Move on down, move
those
on
stupid
down,
ass
move on down
monkeys.
the road.
That fat lady sitting on a fucking toilet. I hated that
It was
movie
funny.
so much.
I guess when I was a kid,
The
there's nothing
flying
else to
monkeys
watch.
on motorcycles, and it would be that.
Yeah.
Like, I always hated being like I used to hate the Rose Bowl. Because
Yeah.
nothing else would be on fucking TV, and they would repeat it 3 times. It would end.
Wait, the Rose Bowl or the Rose Parade?
I mean the Rose Parade.
Yeah, I never liked the Rose Parade.
I hated the Rose Parade as a kid because it would be on every fucking channel.
Yeah.
And then after, nothing would come on but the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And Outer Limits. And it'd be like 11 o'clock by the time they stopped playing. The Rose Bowl ended at 2.
Or MASH. I never liked MASH.
I hated MASH.
I hated MASH.
There's that whole somber ass song and that ugly little helicopter.
Yeah.
With
when MASH came on, that's when I knew it was time to go to sleep.
turn
That
the
was my
TV off.
bedtime.
It was time to
For
turn
sure.
the TV
They
off.
used to have.
It was like 9
that's
o'clock
all.
on Nick at Night.
Married
It would
with
come on at 11 on Fox.
Yeah, Fox.
Or
We used to
12.
have it on Fox.
It would come on after like whatever.
Married with
cheesy
Children,
late night,
like, yeah.
It would be like whatever a current affair and Married with Children.
Sure.
And then, dun,
Yeah.
I always do that. People don't get that shit. That's hilarious. That shit used to scare me as a kid. That sound.
that or the Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
He was creepy.
Yeah.
And he goes with a trench coat.
Yeah.
It was like, that nigga was in a trench coat saying creepy shit.
He was the right person for that
Definitely.
role, for sure.
But yeah, that just I forgot where like we just went off, but the just saying the Joker shit with the movie. I just heard I just seen all the bad reviews. I haven't seen even the people that were like rooting for it were like, this shit's horrible. People were like, I haven't walked out on a movie in years.
Damn.
Like the last 2 movies I walked out on was but I didn't walk out because they were bad. It was because the audience was making too much. It was like when it's a new movie and then all the young idiots, the little
Can't stand
girl,
that
and they're
shit.
just screaming for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
It was The Orphan, the first Orphan,
Never seen those.
and the first Halloween that Rob Zombie did.
I didn't.
Or
like
no, the second one where he gets out and he's going back to the town.
Yeah.
So that scene, and it was like they give you your money back if you leave within like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think I left like 20 minutes. I was like, yeah, I can't. I'll just come back tomorrow or next week when it's like. But it's certain people that are like, bro, I had to walk out like 45 minutes. I didn't even want my money.
Only
back.
movie I ever walked out was there was this movie with that dude from American Pie. It was that dude that fucks
Jason
pie.
Biggs.
It's called Boys and Girls.
I remember that shit with the little chick. What's her name?
Me and my homie, No, that's a different one. No, Boys and Girls is with that other dude from Freddie Prinze Jr. and him. They're like,
and the girl from
she's out of my league or something else. But there was a year where that fool kept on coming out with funny movies, and I was like, all right, I'll go watch this. Watch this. But when me and my homie went to go watch this,
Silverman,
that was funny as hell.
Hilarious.
But like that one, when me and my homie were watching it, even some little girls were like, maybe it'll get funny later on. Like I was like, damn, this movie done.
We waiting for the good part.
Yeah. But there was some little girls saying that, and I was like,
just wait for the funny.
Yeah, and I look at my homie, I was like, let's get the fuck out of here. This movie's stupid, and we just bounced. But
I watched like comedy specials like that, like in the last few, like low key Marlon Wayne's. I don't know if it was his last one, but the one from like 2018.
Yeah,
I think 2018 is kind of out. It's on Netflix, and I remember watching it like
thinking it was gonna be great.
Like I wanted to laugh, and it was parts where like the first, I want to say 19 minutes, I actually probably laughed twice, and then the rest, and I realized I hadn't laughed for like 30 minutes, and I was just like, I wasn't watching it to be a hater. I was really watching it like Marlon got a stand-up special, and I kind of realized at that point, but that was before I did comedy. That's where some people are just funny on film. And it doesn't translate to stage. And some people are funny on stage, and it doesn't translate to film.
To show,
so
a lot. I mean, bro, it was one movie where I felt like walking out on.
Which one?
And it wasn't
Street
just
Fighter?
No. That I actually paid for. I'm gonna tell you, it was Sausage Party.
Oh my god, I just didn't see it because I felt that was weird.
When I watched it, I'm like, this is extra for no reason.
Yeah.
Like all the little subliminals and shit that they was putting in there. Yeah, like I felt like it was just too much.
And again, I think it's
their sausages.
Those dudes that are on a hot streak, they just give them whatever they want, and like people are like, well, you guys did Super Bad, you guys did The End of the World. And then when they pitch you the idea, they're like, "Oh, it's an animated cartoon thing."
It's like Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They can only you reached your ceiling.
Yeah.
Of like raunchy, groundbreaking. We've never seen this. Oh my god, that's hilarious. What the fuck? Oh, they killed Kenny. You can only kill Kenny so many times where it's run its course.
No, but then they finally killed him off, and then they replaced him. It was out of like, but then 5 seasons later,
who did they replace him with? Butters.
Butters, technically.
But Butters was a hilarious character in itself, because that Maury episode where he had the balls on his chin, that was probably like my favorite South Park episode.
The one where he becomes a pimp.
Timmy
where he starts pimping all the girls.
That
and when Timmy and Jimmy was Crips.
I like
that one too. That one was classic.
I always like the Michael Jackson episodes too. Jacko is Backo. That's how they like
Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah.
Mr. Jefferson.
Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah, those fuckers are legit. But yeah, there's like, and that's what I'm saying. Maybe the Joker, maybe because Joaquin was like everything he touched.
And he's always said he's never done sequels.
That's what I'm saying.
He said that before the first one even hit his big, he was like, I don't do sequels.
And plus Gaga jumping in there.
And that shit is, she's a.
I think that's what made it more of a musical.
And because she plays all those instruments, and kudos. I can't hate on your talent, but I'm not a Gaga fan.
Well, even the first one, first one was pretty interesting, but it did remind me of Taxi Driver.
I was about to say it's a reboot of Taxi Driver,
right?
But I was telling him yesterday, because he was like, well, like what's the story of the Joker? And they don't have Batman, but he's not the Joker that Batman ever encounters. He's the Joker that sparks the sparks of the other Jokers in Gotham, of the real Joker of people, but he's not. He interacts with Bruce,
and they're trying to squeeze everything out of the Batman franchise. They even got a new Penguin series on HBO,
on HBO,
which is completely unrelated.
I know, it's just a trick
because that's more connected to the Batman with Robert Pattinson,
right? But that's a world in itself, which has nothing to do with James Gunn, who's over there.
That's what I'm saying. They're just doing the multiverse. It's a way you can just use the multiverse as a way out all the time now,
and even
which Marvel worked perfect with the Wolverine and Deadpool,
and they got a cartoon, a new one that came out too. It's a Batman cartoon where the
Brave
Penguin is a female. Yeah, and
I watched like an episode and a half, and I kind of like when I saw that, I was like, I'll watch it, but it's on Prime.
Yeah, and I don't like when
they number one, like
but I don't like when they start switching it up, and I'm like, come on, really? Like
genders and races, and shit, and that's just and
a musical now, and you're like, fuck.
And I just kind of like, I'm cool. I've just never fucked with musicals. That's never been my. I'll just be like, I'm good. I'm not gonna hate on it.
I'm not gonna lie. I started watching when my
Grease,
homeboy.
I fucking hate Grease.
Grease is a shit. Bro.
Come on. That was the first. I hate
It's about
Rocky
getting
Horror
laid.
Picture Show.
That was a weird one.
I'm telling you, I hate as a kid.
You ain't fucking with the singing Venus Flytrap?
That's probably the one.
That was the best part of the movie to me.
Of
Rocky Horror Picture.
That
was Little Shop of Horrors.
Exactly. I think that's the exception.
Yeah.
I think as a kid, because it was Rick Moranis, and I always thought Rick Moranis and was Steve Martin.
He just disappeared.
Yeah.
Huh? What happened to Rick Moranis?
He was a dentist.
I think he took care of his wife. I think he retired to take care of his wife. Got sick or something.
No, his wife died, and he got out to take care of his kids.
Yeah, it was something like he
got punched a while back in New York too. A lot of people were pissed.
I thought that was Steve Buscemi.
No, he did. He got punched in New York.
Steve Buscemi just got punched in New York too. Like I want to say, like about 2 months ago. Just walking down the street and somebody just fired on him.
Well, people, but
just like real, like what are you watching?
Because Rick Moranis was
one of the Airheads.
Like,
Airheads like my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Like honestly, that's why because I used to relate. I was in a group and I was literally Chaz, and I had a friend that had a job, and then the other friend that was an idiot, and we were just like a 3-man group that would get these dope ass shows at the Whiskey, and it was just I always love that movie because it's just it's classic, but. I just say it's like, why'd you punch Steve Buscemi, bro?
There's a lot of weirdos out there, man.
It's just cause, like, I mean, people just walking around punching Asian people.
Yeah.
So it's like, Steve was like, you're not above. If they just feel like I'm crazy today and I'm gonna swing on you, that's what you get. So, but yeah, I just remember that's the exception. I'll say Little Shop of Horrors. I liked that as a kid. It entertained me, and I would watch it, and it was because it was Steve Martin and Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
And I just remember, but every other musical in my life, no matter if it's a horror, action musical, comedy, a cartoon.
What about you're not even gonna remember this one. Bugsy Malone. You ever watch that one?
About Bugs?
No, Bugsy Malone is. When I was a kid in my elementary school, our teacher brought it in. Mm-hmm. It's fucking basically little kids that are mobsters, and there's guns shoot whipped cream out of them.
I feel like it sounds very. It's
got Scott Baio and who's that other?
I've probably seen that as a kid.
But they got some corny songs, but me and my homies were watching it, and like. At first, we're like, this is corny, this is whack. But then we got into it, like, my name is Till. There's some funny songs in it, man. But it's like it's all kids and it's all mobsters, but their guns, their Tommy guns shoot whipped cream.
It sounds. I felt like that. I have. I just haven't seen it.
It's a trip.
Probably
man.
Since I was a kid.
I don't know why I thought about it the other day too. I was like, it's a trippy ass movie,
I don't
man.
think I haven't seen that. So I just skip certain shit. I'll just skip if I know like this isn't for me. I don't want to hate.
But I like when it's something weird where like it catches your eye. Like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And like you can't stop watching. I'm like, oh man.
That's how I was with American Psycho.
Yeah.
When I first watched American Psycho,
and I didn't know if I liked it or if I hated it.
The homies in the hood, I had like trap houses full of niggas like sitting there smoking, like this shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like 15 deep watching, like, what is this? It's called American Psycho.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting there, they're like, what the fuck? That movie was
a trip,
just catches you and it just keeps getting deeper.
Because it's
like same thing like Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
It just you watch somebody just fall into like the fuck just keep singing, and then they accept that they're in the hole.
Yeah.
And then that's when they get strong because they just accepted the fall, but they've lost it. And watching Taxi Driver, it's
that
like
one
Joker and Taxi Driver is like the same movie.
Falling Down too. Remember?
I bought it.
Falling Down.
I literally bought that movie about a month and a half ago on Prime for $9.99.
Yeah, me and my cousin.
I've been into buying movies on Amazon now, the digital, and I know people like physical copies.
I don't know, man. Like, why are you still buying movies, Tony?
Because what they do, I haven't seen. Falling Down has been on no platform forever.
It doesn't come on TV.
Yeah,
I watched it the other day.
But the thing I also hate,
a lot of times it's not even the site. It's their device.
And they'll edit it,
and that
so you won't get the original version.
And so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll own it now." And it's a movie that I felt it's worth buying.
Me no Chinese, me Korean.
I bought The Last Dragon in Ralph's. I bought a DVD copy of The Last Dragon.
Fiji?
Which one? I bought a DVD copy of The Last Dragon.
I seen a nigga selling bootlegs
at Ralph's. It was at the grocery store for $5.
I had a girl buy it for me from Christmas once, as it was part of like a bunch of Christmas. She bought me like The Last Dragon because she knew I liked it. So. But I seen it on a bootleg sheet before. Like the little essay was out there selling like new bootlegs and The Last Dragon, and it was like a bootleg cover. Like he was in like the yellow fit. And I was like,
them is movies that he downloaded to his computer and put them on a DVD for you.
And he would always sell the same. He'd have a stack of like the same 4 movies.
Yeah.
He'd have Brothers Grimm. The Animal. He'd have the animal, Lilo and Stitch, but he had an accent. He was like super Pisces, so he'd be like, Animal, Lilo Stitch, Buttercream.
It was every Friday.
I'd be like buttercream.
Yeah. So would it be spelled like how he pronounces it?
No, it'd be like he wrote it right. But
before like Netflix was on like an app or whatever. Like Netflix used to be when you mailed them in, right? That's how you usually started.
Yeah, that was the original Redbox, I believe.
Or was it Netflix? No, it was Netflix, right?
Was it? I think it was.
Before Netflix, you used to mail them in, and my homie used to have that.
And it was like that video game company was
right.
like that
How does
too.
this work? And he's all like, oh, like they'll send you a DVD, you watch them, and then you just mail them back, and you fill out your paper, and it tells you they'll say. But me and my homies were like, it's too complicated.
Yeah.
We just used to go to the guy that used to sell them. It's like every Friday he would be on Cesar Chavez or La Brooklyn, right in front of the Bank of America, and I'd be like, oh, let's go get some new DVDs, and we just buy them for the weekend and we watch them, you know. But I still miss going to Blockbuster though, or like a video store.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Growing up, we always used to walk by
shit on Crenshaw
right there by Tams. They had the video.
Oh, I see it, and I always ask about it. And I'll be like,
it's closed down now.
Just seeing that, and I didn't even grow up out here, but seeing that gives me a nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
Seeing how it's even the window, how it's shaped, the writing.
Shit.
But the videos, the movies was $1 a day.
Yeah.
So you can go home, rent a movie, take it back on the way to school the next morning. You know what I'm saying? And you always
I remember when I turned 18, I finally got to go back to the fucking porno section, man.
Oh yeah, shit? I was going in at like 16 because I was like, I was a big dude, so they were like, yeah, he's probably grown.
Nah, I remember I waited till I fucking turned 18 and showed my ID, like 18, motherfucker.
Like a club.
That was a proud moment.
With the barn doors.
Nah, but you know what I did when I went and bought lotto tickets.
I did that too. Yeah, no, I bought lotto tickets, cigarettes, and I went to the adult section. And I bought like a porno mag. But I remember the first time I went in there, I fucked up because I went on a Friday because my parents were going to Mexico, so I'm like, I'm gonna rent some pornos this weekend. But when I walked in there, our video store, they had like a PlayStation where like kids could play games. So a lot of the kids from my neighborhood walked in, and I didn't want them to like catch me in there, so I was stuck in there for like 40 minutes because this fuckers kept on playing games. I'm like, fuck, man, I want to get the fuck out of here. The jacked up thing is, I was in there waiting. I see like there was this dude in our neighborhood who was like supposed to be the religious dude. Walk in there, and I'm looking at this fool. I'm like, motherfucker, aren't you like the religious dude, dog? Like, what the fuck? And I seen him. I'm like, oh, is that what you like? All right,
There's no rule against spanking it.
Yeah.
But what video did he pick up?
The first one I got,
black meat on white streets.
No.
That's what I'm curious to know.
No. Well,
I'm curious to know what was the title of the one he picked up.
I think it was who was the chick on the cover? I think it was a big. I think it might have been Lethal Weapons.
Oh, or Lisa Lips.
Yeah, it was like a big boob one, like a
Candy Canyons,
like big breasted. And
Mandy Mounds.
I remember
they all had like
the dude. Who's the dude that got his dick cut off by his wife? John Wayne Bobbitt. John Wayne Bobbitt had one, but all the girls on the cover were pretty hot. And I was like, damn, like, these chicks are hot.
I think I rented that.
Yeah.
I rented.
I think it was that one, but I remember
when
that's the other thing that I get mad. I say this in comedy. The shame of an Asian clerk when you rent pornos, the look that she gives you, kids are never gonna experience that, man. And I remember when I turned 18 and the Asian lady was like looking at me like, oh, you pervert, like it's a weird feeling that kids will never experience, man. The shame of renting a porno.
And you just try to throw two other movies with it.
Yeah, you try to put them.
I'm not even watching these shits. Like,
no, and I remember,
Billy Blanks
I remember
movie.
one time I rented like Fortune Cookie Surprise or something. It was like an Asian one, and like when
Fortune Cookie,
and then she looked at it and she looked at herself and like covered herself up like, don't look at me. I'm like, bitch, I'm not gonna take after you.
Like you want that Asian flavor, don't you? You don't get none of this soy sauce.
Yeah, but I was like looking at her. She was like looking at me like oh, like you like that? I'm like,
nah, man. Look, back in the day, I had to find like certain stores to buy condoms and shit from.
So you go
to certain places, they be looking at you kind of like
what you doing?
Yeah, and it's like, why are you making me feel bad? Because I'm trying to be safe. You know,
I'm buying this shit. You sell it. Mind your business. Mind your fucking business.
Ain't this what I'm supposed to do with it? You know, like.
But that's that old way of thinking of like older people. You're like wrong, and
but they've been watching you grow up, and you finally get into that store one day.
That might be it then. Yeah, because I remember the first.
Like, oh, you out here fucking now, huh?
Like, you know you're going to go beat your little meat with the condom.
Out here getting Banaka and condoms. Like the Blob. You ever see the Blob? The one from the 80s? And that's when he was buying Banaka and condoms at the pharmacy. But he was getting them for his friend who was going on a date. So he gets them, and the dude's looking at Sage. He's like looking at him. And then the pastor walks up, and he's like, fuck, he's his cult, but they're not for him. Later on that night, the dude they're for, he goes, no, matter of fact, they were never for him. He got them for his friend who was going on a date too. He goes to pick up his date later that night, who he was just going on a nice date. He wasn't trying to smash. and the girl he's thinking of, her dad was the clerk who sold him the Banaka and condoms. So she's like, just let me introduce you to my dad before we leave. And he's like sitting in a chair, and he like lowers the paper, and he like lowers the paper and looks up and sees him, and the kid goes, and he goes, Banaka. No, I think he goes, banana flavor. No, lube. He goes, ribbed. That's what he does. He goes, ribbed. And it just cuts to the next scene.
That's some funny
That's
shit,
just hilarious. That's like one of my favorite horror. Like,
Yeah.
I love, like, that's why I've been buying a lot of movies too. Because it's, I guess I'm at that age. These are movies I always loved.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm older. They don't. Some of these movies are free on Tubi, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you never see Falling Down on anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Like, I can't find Born in East LA anywhere.
Yeah.
I think they took that. I have a list
do
of
you
movies
understand
that
why
scrubbed.
though?
They're like scrubbed from the internet.
But look, no. Look,
I think it's like political shit.
No, 'cause
It
even-
is.
even
It's
Disney,
political.
I feel like
Disney
it's a
got
movie
rid of some
about a dude
episodes
that's born
of
here
The Simpsons.
that gets wrongly deported.
No. When I
And
say
then-
political, Tony, I mean political within the film industry.
and that I'm saying,
Because
I'm
the
saying
way the
that
film
too.
industry is designed now is not the same way as it was 10, 15 years ago.
But see, I think it was. We just didn't realize it because, like,
A lot of these companies are getting deals with
It was
different
smoke and
platforms.
mirrors and a lot of the
you
smoke
got
is
you
going
got all
down.
these different platforms now. You got Peacock, you got fucking Netflix, you
And
got
it's all,
Amazon,
but
you
they're
got
all,
all these
but
other
they're all
shit.
subsidiaries
Right.
of NBC.
but the thing that sucks is like
or
even I
ABC
heard even some Monday
or
Night
Fox.
Raws
Right, so
are
now you
getting
have to look
edited.
on, yeah.
who the
And-
company is
yeah.
that made those movies. Now, what's the company's relationship with these networks?
Yeah.
These bigger companies that we're talking about. If they don't have no deal with them or no contract, they're not gonna have their content on their platforms.
Because even
That's why.
I heard they took a couple episodes of The Simpsons out of like the Disney platform, the Disney app,
really?
and it pissed me off because I'm like, it's The Simpsons. You
Got
can't.
blood in, blood out.
All right.
on
I know, but
I think this could
literally,
segue into another topic, right? So, you had NXT that was on Peacock, but
And
now
I
they
know
just
that's on Channel 5
they
now.
just went over to CW.
Yeah, CW,
So
yeah.
now, what's gonna happen with the content that was on Peacock? Are they gonna take everything over to the CW,
I
or
think,
are you
yeah.
gonna leave the existing stuff
Whatever
that's
they
already
own.
on Peacock there, and then only put the new stuff on the CW? How does that work? You know what I'm saying? Because you got a whole nother generation.
I think they
of
buy
other
the catalog
content.
though. You buy the catalog because when McMahon bought
Yeah.
WCW, he bought
owned
all
the
the
catalog.
pay-per-views. That's
Right.
why he
Oh,
made
shit.
money.
All
off
that
of
stuff
it.
is on the WWE
He bought the
network
names
now.
of the
Yeah.
pay-per-views.
So I think they still own it.
He bought the names of the pay-per-views.
But same thing with
Like,
ECW.
we had
He
Bash
owns
at the
all of
Beach,
that
which became
content.
like Bash at the Beach became a WWE event.
Yeah.
Bash or what is it?
War Games.
War Games. All of their
Well, he owns it now,
all
yeah.
of their top pay-per-views became like WWE.
But low key,
shows.
it's like War Games is supposed to be their Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And what was Starcade was supposed to be their
WrestleMania,
WrestleMania.
yeah.
Yeah, Starcade was in December though. So they
I remember
did
the
theirs
first
at the end of
Starcade
the
I ever
year.
saw. It was Sting versus Vader.
Yeah, I remember.
I was in Detroit. Like, it was snowing and shit. I just remember, like, and I never saw Vader. I remember being scared, like,
Vader was
watching him
badass,
walk
yeah.
out. I was probably like 8. I think I was like 8 or 9. I just remember walking out with the horn. I was like, that nigga look crazy. And I remember seeing Sting. And I was already a wrestling fan, but I had never saw WCW. That was the first time I saw it was Sting and Vader.
The first time I saw
anything
it was
WCW.
Bash at the Beach. I want to say it was in '98, where they had Dennis Rodman and Carl Malone.
Oh yeah.
Damn,
So
I forgot y'all. Like, you
my
younger than
brother
me and shit.
had
This nigga like 10
taped
years
the
younger.
whole fucking the whole pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He gave me the VHS because it was like,
I ordered that one
watch
too.
this.
That's
I had to
like- that's-
babysit.
yeah.
I was babysitting,
No,
and
'cause
then I ordered it.
I had illegal cable, so all the pay-per-views, all my homies would come over, but I would also tape them, so I would just pass it out like during the week to all my homies who were
Whoever
wrestling
didn't see
fans.
it, yeah.
Or I remember we had a class one time. The teacher, like Roosevelt, was a horrible school, man, and the teacher would just let us watch wrestling. Like he would
That's
just bring
wild.
he would just bring a TV in there with his newspaper. He's like, yeah, just don't kill each other.
That's why I always say they always use them in their fucking newspapers.
Yeah.
But Nas said that in his song. Teachers paid just to show up and leave. No one succeeds.
Yeah,
It's like,
and it was like that,
they
but
just
at the
paid
same
to show
time,
up.
it was 45 kids in the classroom.
That
no
didn't
AC.
give a fuck.
Yeah.
So it's on both, but it's still that's what you're paid for.
No,
to
but it's a
try
lot of
to-
teachers that look at,
they're
well,
trying
you
to
don't
make it
pay me
different.
for this.
Yeah,
But it's like
You
getting
don't pay me
paid,
enough for
but
this.
you getting paid to be here.
I'm
to
getting
do your
paid to
job.
teach.
I remember.
but
when you're not teaching at all.
But I
But if I
remember-
got too many distractions and I can't teach, then what do I do?
A parent teacher conference. A parent teacher conference, this big ass gangbanger, like fucking threatened the teacher. That was this little midget teacher that we had, like little short dude. And in front of his mom's like, because he told his mom, like, yeah, your son's a horrible student, this and that. Like, he doesn't come to class, he's always ditching, blah, blah, blah. And this was like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
It
like,
was
in
like a
front of
scene from
everybody.
187 and
Yeah,
shit.
and I was like, oh shit. I remember they used to because if you translate, because my school was a lot of Hispanic kids, so like the teachers would tell me like, hey, we need translators. If you come over,
like ESL,
yeah, like if you translate to the moms and the dads about these kids, like how they're doing, like we'll give you a pizza party at the end of the week. So I was like, fuck, free pizza, yeah.
Pizza party is always like the shitty. It's nice, but it's the shitty payoff.
But I remember like one time for a history class,
give us pizza parties at work every week.
But for a history class, this one gangbanger was telling me like, hey, if you tell my mom anything, I'm gonna fuck you up. So like the teacher would tell me like to tell her like your son's fucking up. So I would try to pretend that I was telling her the truth, but I was just like, no, so you could, like your son is doing well, but he needs to like I would lie, and the gangman would just be looking at me like fuck you up, like yeah, like I'm gonna fuck you up if you tell the truth, man. I was like, all right. So I was threatened, man, but I got my pizza at the end of the week, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Like somebody in the comments said, pizza party is such an incentive. I don't know.
When you're a kid, when you're a kid and you're broke, man.
Pizza, it depends on where the pizza coming from too.
Nah.
If it's Shakey's, we can talk.
We used to get Pizza
Loca.
If it's numero uno, Shakey's or Costco,
Pizza
we in
Loca,
business.
man. Pizza Loca, underrated pizza, man.
Pizza Loca was the shit, especially depending on what part of town you in. Because I've been to some that were trash.
Yeah.
But then I've been to some that were like fire as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That big one with the jalapenos on it, jalapeno pepperoni.
I think I told you that last time when I was like one of the dudes in our school was in a Pizza Loca commercial.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that.
We was talking about Pizza Loca. And I was like, I remember he was like one of the students that would deliver notes.
Yeah.
From like the office for like a period. He would just get to sit in the office and be cool. So he had like a little ponytail and he like came in. I remember they were like, oh, it's the Pizza Loca kid. Yeah. And he was just like delivering a note that had nothing to do with him, but it was just all.
And I miss like the sodas in the fucking square box. Yeah. You know, you get the big ass fucking all that. They don't do none of that shit no more, man. Everything changed.
Some chicken breasts. And some Mojo potatoes.
Also, like I think it changed, but I think the quality of food, like in certain spots, got a lot better. But little kids are bougie now, man. Like I got a goddaughter.
They didn't grow up on trans fat.
I know, but she likes to go eat pho, and I'm like, dude, you're like a little kid. You're spending like. I'm spending $20 on pho.
Like, no, but that's the average now. If you're getting a combo for one person,
it's
like
you're gonna spend about
$15 to $20.
At least at the least $12 to $13.
Yeah, I know, man.
Depending on where you go. Popeyes, but the cheaper it is, the faker the food's gonna be.
By themselves, a 3-piece of chicken, just two breasts and a wing is like $15 at Popeyes.
The dollar menu turned into $5 and under.
Yeah, I know.
They don't have nothing for like. But it's like, this shit is trash anyway. I can just go to the market and buy ground beef.
That's true.
For $10.
But that's the thing. It's like a lot of people now, especially in LA, you don't have time to just go home and cook. Mm-hmm. A lot of times people either sitting in traffic or, you know, you working 10 hours trying to pay your rent, pay your bills.
I miss the AM/PM used to have a McRib wedge. Mm-hmm. That was good. That was like $1.50 or something.
They had the McRib when McDonald's was out of season with it, huh?
But you know why McDonald's goes out of season with the McRib?
Because of the pork, the leftover pork.
But that's politics right there, too.
In the regular, all right, because I think I heard the story. I heard the story. Because the pork that's left over from all the like leftover pieces of pork, they make them into those patties, and then it's in the off season that they're like, hey, we can sell these for cheap, and McDonald's started buying them. Like, all right, so that's why they only sell it for a limited time.
They could. What's your reason that you know?
No, I think I saw an article on it.
I know the reason.
I read on it.
So the reason they said it's only limited yearly every 3 months.
Yeah.
Because
March.
the McRib is illegal to sell in every other country.
Really?
And it's the ingredients that are in the McRib.
Yeah.
And they said there's at least 69 ingredients just in the bun alone.
Damn.
Including like plastics.
Yeah.
And also that's why it's illegal to sell in other countries for more than like, if you can't sell it, but even here, so you can only sell it for a certain amount of months in America before it becomes toxic.
Other countries, and niggas start they don't use as many preservatives and shit like that in their food like we do here.
Year round, you wouldn't probably die, but it would fuck you up.
Yeah,
so they sell it limited time and take it away, and that's why it
even Subway. Remember Subway used to have that veggie patty? I heard that veggie patty had like pieces of sneaker in it.
I worked at Taco Bell, and they were like the shells contained something that were in like pills for dogs that fight fleas.
Yeah.
It was an ingredient that go in the pill that go in Taco Bell taco shells.
Yeah.
So what was it in first? Was it in the taco shell or was it in the pill?
It was in the pill. It was in the pill first.
So you think they broke the pill down and then put that into the shell? I think
a lot of the same ingredients just get mixed in everything.
But yeah, how do you come to that conclusion? Like this is what works, and that's people sitting up in the lab
because
and shit
that's
like
what's being given to us.
Yeah, and it's what's cheapest.
You know, I worked in food a lot, right? So it's like sitting in test kitchens and fucking trying out different shit to see what works. Like we're making fucking pastas from scratch. Let's see which of these starches and mixes and gums and stuff like that. You putting all these different preservatives and ingredients to see what's gonna hold.
I didn't know what the fuck corn syrup was growing up. I'm like, fuck is MSG?
Fructose, high fructose corn
syrup. Because Coca-Cola, I think, was one of the first ones because they had a lot of the farmers had a overstock in corn. So they didn't know what to do with it. So like some scientists made up the corn syrup thing. They're like, hey, we could put corn syrup in anything, cereal, like freaking almost anything now.
Anything.
It was a big wave, and it started going.
That's
into
why
every
Coca-Cola,
product.
and I think it was in the 80s. They said they were going to change the recipe, and they went from I think cane sugar to the corn syrup. But they had to do the change in recipe to get people's palate
that was the
to
new
change.
Coke.
Yeah, the new Coke.
When it came out with the new Coke.
But that's why they did it, and now everything has corn syrup now. But people are getting mad that it's like, dude, it's in everything.
That shit's in everything.
Yeah.
It's been in everything. Starch and fructose and high fructose and what is it? Corn syrup.
I'm not gonna say been because
I've always remembered
that. Yeah. When everything started getting
since
produced,
I've been a kid reading.
Since you've been a kid,
since I've been a kid reading ingredients.
But I'm a big history was my favorite subject in school, just because I like knowing how we got here. How did we get to this point with this? Whatever it is, like, all right, the internet, whatever it is, you know?
And I read this book called Fitness Confidential by this nutritionist he's a nutritionist to the stars. And he goes in depth on like how the people, the bureaucrats that made the food pyramid were all being bought by like Big Bread and Post and Kellogg's and all these people.
It was all made to sell those products.
Yeah, so like that's why they said like, oh, you need seven portions of bread, cereals, or whatever. I'm like, that's a lot of bread. Like we never ate that much, and that's why we got so fat in the last couple of years because those politicians got bought out. Because now the pyramid is changing when they're like, nah, you need more meats and fats and vegetables, not all this bread stuff. But they're the ones. And then when they started doing the commercials with the 2 pieces of toast, the orange juice, the milk, and the cereal, they was like, that's a lot of sugar for a kid in the morning. Mm-hmm. Like you'll be fine with the toast and the orange juice, maybe the milk, but the cereal you really don't need it.
It feels weird trying to eat a bowl of cereal with a glass of orange juice. Yeah. And like,
but they sold it as a nutritional breakfast. Yeah. But it looks more like healthy. Like,
you look like you're supposed to do this. This is what I'm supposed to eat every day. Yeah. So for me to feel normal. And it's like really you feeling like shit by the end of the day.
And that's what that dude talks about is like these companies that did that. I think even with the toys, there was a limit of how many minutes a company could sell toys during cartoons. Because it was like it's like a weird toy documentary on Netflix too, man. That I was like, I never knew that, but it does make sense that like when you're a kid and you watch, it's like, Mom, can I have that? Can I have that? And little kids, it's like you're manipulating little kids.
It's programming.
Yeah, programming. Yeah,
and that's what just think. That's the stuff we would see during our after-school cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons, all that type of stuff growing up.
But it was only in the morning.
They only showed that type of stuff. And then throughout the day, depending on what was on TV, you're going to get commercials that go towards that. Like during Jerry Springer, you're getting Larry H. Parker commercials and, that type of shit. Yeah. Stuff like
Larry,
Closet World, you know what I'm saying? People that's sitting at home that ain't at work.
But you know what? It didn't hit me till I was older that those commercials are played because most of those people that are sitting at home are either injured on work time. I didn't get that till I was like in my 30s. Like that's why
That's why those certain brands and those certain businesses buy that time slot.
And then that's why you have dating, and then you have 976 numbers and dating shit at night because people are alone or at home, and they're not
during BET Uncut. That's what you got coming on.
They're not with a significant other or companion. Yeah. They're alone and they're watching fucking TV by themselves.
And this is the other thing that
it's all programming.
I trip out on like Instagram too now because I ain't gonna lie. A while back, I used to follow like a lot of porn stars or models and whatnot,
big booty chicks.
But like recently, I started deleting them all. I'm like, nah, it's too distracting. And like I see myself be more productive now.
And I didn't like feeling like
you don't got your phone in your hand all day.
Like,
but I didn't like feeling like, why am I giving this person more credit?
Right.
Yeah, they're hot. There's 40,000 people like this clip.
Yeah.
5,000 dudes are all putting heart emojis and fire and flames.
Let me take you out.
And I'm gonna put one.
Yeah.
I just like, that's what made me. I'm like, man, fuck this. Like, I can still look and
but
be
it
like,
is,
I might
it
like
is
it.
funny that kids.
But if you like it, then why not?
But I'm not following it.
Right, but kids are getting like desensitized because they see it
I don't
all
even
the
think
time,
you got to follow it to like it,
And
because
then your whole
somebody can post
algorithm.
one picture, right? And the rest of their page is trash.
Yeah.
You can like that one picture that's on the Explore page, not even go back to their page again.
Yeah.
And then your whole Explorer page becomes BBWs and little skirts with their ass out.
Gracie
boots.
Bond's been on my
she's all.
She got popular really, really fast.
Yeah.
I miss going to Panama, man. Panama.
It's a lot of like my shit right now. I keep, it goes back and forth from like shoes and clothes to nature to like just BB thick chicks.
Yeah.
And then
Mine's is food and that.
or models
Food,
to
wrestling,
like
and that,
muscle chicks. And then but like thick muscles.
Yeah.
Like I like women that are like
fit.
strong.
Yeah.
That still are like. But then the Jordan, what's her name? Jordan Gracie or.
Gracie, the
The
wrestler?
TNA, yeah.
Grace
She's
Jordan.
been popping up like a lot on my shit. And then I didn't know she was like a thick, kind of a chubby girl first. And then I watched this thing about WWE people that they saying that they know are on roids, and they had her on the list. Because they're like, you just, and then even her voice changed, and her voice was like, they have like clips of her before, and her voice was like very feminine,
And now
very
it's like
feminine.
very
Now
like
she's like, when she talks,
Like
it's
China,
like, what's the roids do to women, and so it's like, or it gives them the chin, like China. Or back knee, or is there certain symptoms steroids have always done in women and in men? And like you get to see it. So I thought she was. I didn't know she was.
When like I see like Lex Luger or Big Papa Pump now, and I'm like, damn, what happened?
You see
bro?
like Luger, he's like,
Man, did you see Saturn? What happened to Saturn?
Crack.
I didn't click on
when
that
I saw
video.
him,
I didn't click on the
I'm
video.
like, dude, this can't be the same dude that I grew up watching.
Because a lot of the
he was a
ECW
beast.
dudes were on crack, I think Raven talks about it on his podcast. Raven has a
was like,
funny
he be
podcast.
doing coke.
Yeah.
You got to watch. Remember me and you watched the Sandman shit.
Yeah.
And when it premiered that day,
It was like the darker side of the ring.
yeah.
Bill Alfonso too, like he's all cracked out too. I think
Who's Bill Alfonso?
Bill was Taz's manager,
Dude, wasn't he like RVD's manager?
Yeah,
too?
he was RVD's manager. Yeah,
I always thought he was like,
yeah, he's a little cracked out. But a lot of them guys were like,
he was a little weaselly.
they talk about ECW back in the days.
But then you had guys in WCW like man,
Yeah.
I don't know, a lot. Scott Hall was one of the biggest guys, you know, but it's like they kept putting him on TV knowing that he
Got a
What
problem.
did I just say? What did I say? We were just talking before
when
we
he
started
threw up
about-
on Eric Bischoff, it's like, you know, that was
Jake the
probably where
Snake.
he was like, yeah, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
When we were talking about I was telling him about Jake the Snake earlier, and I remember I hated watching TNA. My girl at the time used to say that she was like WWE is cool, but watching TNA is like a chore. She said that to me, and I was like, yeah,
It was too animated.
It was just bullshit.
Yeah.
It's extra.
But I was telling him earlier, I hated they put Jake the Snake out there one day, and he was fully cracked out. Like full blown, and he couldn't even walk. He was trying to like get to the ring to clear the ring because they were beating up somebody and Christians outside fighting somebody, and so his music hits.
They probably paid him in advance,
Exactly.
and that motherfucker
And
went
he
out, got
turned
his
up
shit.
the night
Fuck,
before and
he's-
just never went to sleep.
He's due for
And-
3 more boogies. So fuck
Yeah,
it.
so like we got Nashville tomorrow. So he literally makes his way to the ring. He's twitching, holding the bag in his mouth, and he's trying to get to the ring, and they're trying to like kill time because he should have been hit the ring by now. And he's like, it was just so, it just made me look at TNA. Like, why would you put him?
I don't know, man, but shout out to DDP, man. He for
He
helping
brought all
those
them
guys
dudes
out.
back.
Yeah.
He brought them back to
DDP
life.
yoga,
Definitely.
you know, all that stuff he was doing with
helped
them.
them dudes. Even
They all
X-Pac-
moved in with him.
Even X-Pac said that he was mad when they did that with Scott Hall, when Scott Hall was at like his lowest point. And I think it might have been either in Hollywood, NWA, when they were in Hollywood, and they put him out there, and he was like, came out like fucked up. And he had a run after that, like, but at that point he had went kind of downhill to where he was he was bad, like a dude outside of a liquor store was bad. And X-Pac did the interview. It's a video where he's checking the dude, like, why the fuck would you even send him out here like that?
X-Pac was fucked up too. Even
they were all doing the same drugs.
But to have a friend though that knows that's done that shit with you, and it's like, hell no, you wouldn't let me go out there like that. I for sure wouldn't let you go out there like that.
And this nigga's legacy is, that's what I respected the X-Pac. He knew his role, and he played his role perfectly. I'm the little homie, even though he's my size. When I've met him twice, he's like my size, like just solid. I was like, damn, bro, like you. He was like, yeah, everybody's like 6'7", 6'8". Like he's like 6'4", I'm 6'5". So I was like, damn, like he's
but when Scott Hall put him over, and like
that's what I'm saying.
He basically put him into the fold.
He knew his place. Him and Bret Hart had one of the greatest matches. Him and people, they say wrestlers to this day still study the Bret Hart. They watch that for like film.
I just watched one last night. I watched the Shawn Michaels Owen Hart one at your house. Yeah, it was really good. I was like, damn, Owen Hart was also badass, man.
Super.
A lot of those classic matches definitely are great, man.
In your houses, man. I took it for granted.
I remember when they started when I was like a teenager. And I just remember being like, I couldn't order them all because they would be like, it was just like, damn, like.
But you remember, like that was the transition. Remember the last In Your House is when everything started going really full pay-per-view, Attitude Era. Everything before that, you was getting VHSs of those. Yeah. You was able to go to the store and get them. You wasn't getting that no more. Now you had to buy the pay-per-view.
I remember the last pay-per-view. Sir, I think it was SummerSlam. The last SummerSlam poster I seen in a video store was Taker versus Taker.
Oh yeah.
And that was like 92. 93 maybe.
But I still remember Tower Records when they used to sell the DVDs. Because I remember my buddy had a collection of a lot of the DVDs, like WrestleMania 1 through whatever recent one. Then every time a new one would come out, he would buy them and just add to the collection.
Yeah.
But then he was pissed when the network came out. He was like, fuck, because he had the freaking drawers. I'm like, damn.
I bought the network, then I got rid of it. Yeah. I couldn't get rid of it. They were charging me for like 3 months, and I didn't know how to delete it.
You know what?
It was nothing on there.
DVDs might be worth something.
They might, but like I don't even know if he still has them. But I'm like,
I just thought they would play. It made sense for the network. I thought when I got the network, I'd be able to watch Raw or SmackDown while it's live. Yeah. It would make sense. Your network, I should be able to watch your shows, and that's the only. I got it so I can watch Raw. I can order the pay-per-view.
But that's why they got different contracts. Each one of those are their own brand now, right?
In January.
But they did that because now all your content is split all around on these different platforms.
Yeah.
So it's like now you got wrestling everywhere. They control the market. That's monopoly.
Vince is pimping everybody.
Because now AEW is like, that's the only other competition that they say is really there, right?
And then it's a hard. I mean, I love wrestling, but damn, AEW sometimes every time.
So let's get into that. Yeah, this current state of affairs.
They bring out a new dude,
but he's an old fogger.
See, I'm good with segues, right?
Yeah, you know what you're doing. You know what he's doing.
But this moment, but I get mad that they bring in a new dude. And
they just premiered Shelton Benjamin.
I know.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley just signed with him too. Bobby Lashley just signed with him too.
What is dude's 50? What are you gonna do with a 50-year-old Shelton Benjamin?
No.
Not saying he's ragged.
But that's not what it is, though.
But it's like what it's.
What are we doing? You see how they just asked Triple H, what's your take on the representation? At these pay-per-views, and he's like, well, I don't really see race, or I don't see gender either. Like I see. These are people that are gonna draw for this card.
They can be talented or not. Nigga, you got a bunch of Samoans running shit now. What are niggas complaining about? It's like people want it to be them. That's what it is. Oh, it's not black. I don't see enough black. Bro, they got a bunch of islanders that used to be in hula skirts with bones in their fucking noses running the company now. Making motherfuckers bend to making the commissioners
I think
like
it's the
that's weird. Like what are you complaining about?
It's their forefathers paved the way, so like now they can
that too. They are talented. A lot of these dudes' forefathers paved the way, and they weren't fucking. They didn't have a lick of fucking talent, and they never. What did they say? Still still never drawn a dime.
What it is,
though,
though.
what these dudes can draw.
Yeah.
They have talent. Their fathers, their grandfathers had talent. These dudes can draw as a heel or a face.
But do you think that
these
black wrestlers can draw?
But it depends when they're not playing a pimp or a break dancer.
Well, no,
and you got them doing the same.
Vince,
and that was Vince's fault. Maybe if you have to give him a chance in this era under Triple H. Vince had black people play the same role since the '82.
But as soon as Vince walked away, though,
MVP,
right?
What's the difference between MVP and Slick other than he ain't as pimpy? And what's the difference with Teddy Long and Slick?
Flash Funk.
What's the difference between Flash Flunk and Slick?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Vince knows what he wants, and that's what you have to bend it at.
That was the corny, like generic.
Jive talking.
And they just
it's the 70s that bled into the 80s.
Right.
And it became what it became.
Vince was ruthless.
Yeah. Why do I have a Vince?
Durag Vince was ruthless.
I have a video saved to that. I should have sent that. I can't send it right now. I have a video that's just dedicated to Durag Vince. But
when he said, "What's up, my nigga?"
What's up, my nigga?
Hey, he really forced that shit.
Telling me,
I was like, damn.
He did not. Just
but Booker
say
T said that shit live on TV.
Yeah, Booker said that.
And then he caught himself and Sherry.
My favorite part of that video is Sherry's laughing because he was the only one that thought it was bad.
Yeah,
because even Stevie just looked like this nigga wild, and Sherry yeah, we crazy nigga.
But he felt Booker was.
He was like, oh my career.
She was probably waiting for somebody to finally do some shit like that. She was like, yeah, now I feel
she enjoyed
more
it the most out of watch that clip. Sherry enjoys it the most. She's like, and then she started rubbing him. She started rubbing him like, yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, like you good, like nigga, you playing an asshole. Yeah. You playing a killer. This is just early before when fuck the PG era. This is the G era.
Did you ever see the New Jack one where he
OJ?
Yeah.
I shared on my story. I shared on my story
like
every few months.
That was groundbreaking right there.
Good job. That's one less we got to worry about.
No, it's two less.
What made me watch ECW?
OJ.
What made me fuck with ECW was turning channels on Saturday night.
That was before ECW. I think that was NWA Mid South.
Yeah,
probably.
That's what he did because he said, all those white boys are down there hating me.
I'm sure.
But they brought him in. They wanted a black tag team.
For sure.
So he called his boys.
It's automatic heat.
Yeah.
You are automatically the top heels.
Yeah.
Just because these people are programmed to be like, what are they doing here? And then you're actually good, so they're like, fuck them. And you beating the shit out of the people they pay money to see.
Yeah.
You created perfect heels.
It's a show.
That's what you're supposed to do.
It's a show called Heels.
I still gotta watch that. I still gotta watch it. He's been telling me about it for like 2 years.
So I do from Arrow, right?
Yeah,
with Arrow and
But they got Mick Foley comes in the show. Really? Fucking CM Punk comes in the show. It's about a small town wrestling, like independent in Georgia, and they got their own arena. The dad, he started it and everything, but he passed away, and the sons ended up taking
literally
everything over.
Real life about all those companies.
Yeah, for sure, and it's real dope.
I just put it on my watch list.
If you ever wanted to see what these old Southern
how they
the
draw.
politics,
that's pretty much how
it's
they was
just a drama about
all these people still got real jobs. Some of them work at the car wash, some of them work at the gas station, but they all come and they may be a wrestler at night and put on the show.
It's kind of like being a comedian, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Real shit. On God, it's the same shit. They looking like you're the funniest person I've seen in a long time.
But then you get rival
going
promotions.
back to work, motherfucker. You see niggas in Burger King commercials, and they really working at Burger King. When you like, damn, nigga, I saw you in a commercial, and he really like working at Burger King.
Yeah, especially nowadays, it's like that.
Definitely. And it's not that's not to knock nobody or be like, hey, if you getting 9 to 5 money, that's guaranteed you gotta
if
survive.
If you're the Burger King doing the most numbers and shit. And at some point, you're going to get enough attention. Somebody going to walk in with a camera. They going to film you. You're going to be on the news. And that shit going to turn into a commercial.
Exactly. They said the little boy just went viral. That was like a little kid that was doing that little stupid dance, the floss dance. He works like at a smoke shop.
Yeah.
Like a vape shop, some type of shit.
People are clowning him.
And he was like, I just got no more money from that shit. And they're like, you went on tour with Katy Perry and
even homie
SNL. He was on all these shows.
Dantley, the basketball player, he's a crossing guard. But he, I think Carmelo Anthony was talking about it, that when he played for a team that he was like on a coaching staff, and he would tell him like, I never spend any of my money. I had bought all my houses. I own a house on an island.
That's good.
And then in the off season, he was doing the crossing guard stuff, and people were saying like, oh, are you broke? Are you broke? He's like, no, I like working.
I'm a real person.
I work, and I'm gonna keep making money because you can lose money.
But people are like,
I'm
people
still
look
out
down
here
on
in
you.
real life. I'm not just
like,
on TV.
It's not like I'm like down. Like there's like what's the boxer Meldrick Taylor. That after he that fought Chavez and shit, but he was like working as a bag boy.
My nigga
Alvin,
Alvin,
like
my nigga Alvin from the Cosby Show.
Yeah. He was a grocery. Him and Meldrick Taylor.
They took
him and
pictures
Meldrick
trying to
Taylor
clone
got the
that fool,
same
and
job.
I'm like, that's kind of messed
50
up, man.
Cent saw that shit and put him back on TV.
Yeah.
Put him on Power.
That's why I fuck with 50.
Yeah.
That's why I fuck with 50. I'm gonna put you on some
But
shit.
wasn't he also on Sunny in Philadelphia as Donovan McNabb?
Like, and they were like, and Faison Love was like, I'm pretty sure that's not like, and he was like, yeah, it is. Yeah. So,
and that's the thing.
They're like,
if you're not like a main character on a fucking soap opera or some shit like that, it's like you're not gonna have a consistent check. So eventually, it's like, you only gonna be able to pay a couple months of rent, and then you still gotta fucking figure it out in the off season, like you say.
But I think a lot of these dudes in their talent speaks. And then there's people like they said, like Scott Hall and Kevin Nash had negotiated the contracts to where no matter what, if me and him if I'm Scott Hall and he's Kevin Nash and you get signed and you're the hottest motherfucker in the industry, not just our company. That's why Vince signed you. Whatever they give you, of course, it's going to be. They have to match our contract,
right? But look,
no one can ever get paid.
But
more,
you know how they was able to
go.
do that? That was the opportunity in that moment. That was a perfect timing for Scott Hall to jump over.
Yeah.
When his contract was up over there, it's like, well, y'all ain't really using me for nothing. Like, I've been an IC champ. I ain't never fucking held the world title in fucking WWF.
Yeah,
but
did he?
He definitely should have.
He should have. He was a big enough character.
I don't even think he had a run.
He didn't.
No. He never, because his biggest beef was with HBK, and that's when HBK had the Intercontinental title.
Oh, they both had, yeah.
Yeah, and then that was a dope ass match.
I think he did fill a couple drug tests.
The ladder matches and shit, they pretty much was the innovators of the ladder match.
They created the HBK and Razor Ramon created the ladder match as far as mainstream. Yeah. I don't know, no one was watching indie wrestling in 1993. Yeah.
So they was probably doing it in Japan or something like that somewhere maybe, but
no one, like I said, we saw that shit and was like, what the fuck? And it's 2 belts. And my favorite belt was always the Intercontinental.
But then I say
the white one,
opportunity in that moment.
The Warrior had it. When the Warrior had it, bro, and he would change the colors, and he would change the colors on them. Even with the world, that shit was hard, bro.
And with them already wanting to have that beef, right? For Eric Bischoff, it was like, all right, well, I got Ted Turner's checkbook. Yeah. I know I could spend whatever I want to spend. So, yeah, I'm going to get him. So, for Scott Hall to say, all right, well, his contract up too. So,
like all my niggas need to eat.
That was also a time because Vince never really paid his wrestlers, and he had them working a lot.
He only paid Hogan.
Yeah.
He
Ted
paid
Turner
his
had
stars.
long money.
He paid his stars, not
and
the
even
roster.
then, they didn't pay him as much as he paid like
Hogan.
crappy dudes that were in WCW.
It was just Hogan.
Hogan
Getting everybody's check.
Shawn Michaels was getting the most money. I feel like
Shawn
because he was his golden child. Yeah. Even when Bret Hart, it was like he gave him that the screw job happened because that's your golden child.
But the thing is, McMahon's always been like, who's next? Who's next?
I'm saying who's next. I'm not going to listen to the crowd. The same, and that finally imploded with Daniel Bryan in 2011 when it was like, bro, we've already known this nigga was a man in Hollywood. It was that too, but it was undeniable with Punk. That whole 2011 Zack Ryder, that's why that pay-per-view, all the belts changed, and Zack Ryder, Daniel Bryan, and Punk all had the titles because that's what people wanted for the last year and a half up until that point, and he couldn't deny it because they're chanting yes and no through every match. Yeah. Even when you took him off of episodes and he's not even backstage on a Raw, and the whole time they're chanting yes. Yeah. Like that, you can ignore what people want and say online in these little chat rooms, but when motherfuckers, everybody that bought a ticket and is buying merch and they're literally all saying the same thing for 2-3 hours straight. Yeah. And you're like, I'm not gonna put him on TV. You're a dumbass that's fucking up. You've been a genius and you've been a shining star in the industry that had the eye for talent. You've had great ideas, but right now you fucking wrong. Yeah. And it started becoming more of you're fucking wrong than you're creating legends. Yeah. And
but
you're just
I think
trying
that's why
you keep
Triple
bringing
H
back
kind of took
older.
over that creative control part because it's like, dude, you messing up, man.
And it shows the fact that he was fucking up is that you see the improvement instantly.
Yeah, yeah.
since The Rock came back.
When Batista came in, remember they wanted to push that fool as a face, and they were like, dude, like,
and he let him win the Royal Rumble.
No, you're gonna be a face. I'm like, dude, he's not a face, man.
And he's animal.
But it was Vince McMahon's like, nope. If I
like big buff dudes, and I want whatever I want them to do, they're gonna do, and that's why you see Lashley gone, because there's nothing for him to do here, because now he's just a big buff dude that he's dope. He's a great athlete. But he's
not charismatic
at all.
Yeah.
It's just, and then they tried to do the whole management in the street. That shit didn't work. It's just sometimes you have to, like, Triple H knows what he's doing, and everybody's trying to compare it to Tony Khan.
Yeah, Tony Khan's
like, I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here? And it's like, you got people. I liked Orange Cassidy. You got people that I've liked.
He's different.
That I've liked watching that before I seen him on something mainstream. So that's smart.
I heard even did WWE sign the Lucha Bros?
I wouldn't be surprised,
because those dudes were pretty good too.
I be thinking the way my conspiracy brain works. I be thinking everything's like Vince is like the octopus, and Vince Russo was a plant to destroy. He never left. I felt like he never.
Brett's contract. I was thinking about Brett's
everything
contract.
Everything was still just Vince, because Vince is that.
I know. Yeah.
Everything that's come out about
go over there and do the craziest shit you could think of, and fuck they shit
and
up.
And make it look good for.
That's how you get the misfits in action.
But giving when they gave Brett that contract, they was like, dude, that's a lot of money for one dude. Like, yeah, go over there and see how that works out. I think that's what he figured out. Like, they're getting paid way too much money for what they're doing.
Even with Shane now popping up,
he didn't want Brett to leave with the title.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
that's what the problem was.
No company ever
because he already got Ric Flair like that.
Right.
He had already fucked them over by getting Ric Flair to leave with the belt.
Yeah.
So he didn't want them to pull that same stunt back on him.
And he likes doing that to companies, because that's what Mike Goldberg from UFC. There's a Chael Sonnen, Mike Goldberg, they have the same. They were like, so Vince calls me. He was like, Chael Sonnen goes, Vince calls me on the Friday before I fight Silva that Saturday. I just did the press conference. He's like, Vince calls me and was like, just show up. I want you to show up Monday. He was like, do the pay-per-view, even win or lose. Yeah. He was like, just show up on Raw on Monday. And then it's like, he was like, but in my head, I was like, what is that going to do? Like, okay, you're going to pay me. I think he said he was going to give him like $1 million to just show up on Raw with the UFC belt and whatever he was going to do. But he was like, that didn't mean I wasn't gonna not show up on UFC anymore.
Yeah.
Like, so he's like, I just called Dana. I told him, and was like, Dana was like, yeah, fuck him. He's just trying to be an asshole. And then Mike Goldberg, who used to be the voice of the UFC, who they fucked over and just fired him. Even Rogan was like, everybody was like, I hate what they did to Goldberg, and he's on the games and everything. He was like, Vince called him and was like, I'll shoot you $400,000 if you come and do Monday Night Raw. I think he wanted him to no-show the UFC event. And then he was like, I'll give you $400,000 just to be on Raw on Monday. And like, that was the thing. Vince is a evil. Yeah. He's a petty. He's a 50 Cent type nigga. Yeah. That's the type of shit 50 do. I'll pay you to just do some shit that'll fuck their shit up just for me. But I'm like, Vince is more sneaky with it. But 50 is like, yeah, I did that shit. Like, it is funny. That's why it's funny. Vince is like, these are like geopolitics or something, like for these other companies.
50, I'm gonna tell you something about that nigga Ghost. Whatever they say he did that shit.
Like, damn, nigga, he told that to that nigga's son. He tell that to his nigga's son.
I don't want to be a dick, but I gotta pick up my goddaughter, man.
I got you, so we gonna close it out. But let everybody know where they can find you. And
Noriega Comedy on Instagram, Drunken Sailor. Usually I'm on Instagram, so just hit me up there. I got a bunch of shows on there, so like we're doing a show actually here. Like, you want to promote that, or is
it? We get anything.
I mean, if anybody's watching, just so you get the info.
I'll put it on the live. You see that. This Saturday coming up, it's gonna be popping.
I'll take one.
We're gonna be in there. Yeah, take one. Let them scan the code. See that? Sling Johnson, Black Jesus. Find me on IG at Tony Grams, TONY_GRAMS. We up here. Innovative comedy, innovative culture. What's good, Cam?
Y'all can tap in with me at COOLAZZCAM. Tap in with our website, www.theinnovativeculture.com. Follow us on Instagram at innovative.culture and innovative.comedy. And subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/innovativeculture. We out of here.
Yeah. Innovative comedy.